You'll feel pain you never imagined in life. Flesh you'll smell burning. Your flesh rotting forever.
You'll never get these kids. Never.
You could say that the late 70s to mid-80s was a strange time for Disney's movie division. Ever since the death of Walt in 1966, the studio had been continuing to churn out pretty much the same type of family-friendly films it had for the last 3+ decades. The thing is, that same secret sauce that had catapulted a single small animation studio into a global powerhouse wasn't quite working anymore. Sure, Pete's Dragon was fine, but it didn't come anywhere near the expected Mary Poppins box office numbers. Cat from Outer Space, definitely not setting the world on fire.
My name is Zunar J5/9 Doric 47.
Get me the Pentagon.
So it's easy to see why executives at the time felt like a change in focus was in order. And looking at the top box office earners, the direction that they needed to go seemed pretty clear. Now with a slightly older audience in sight, the Walt Disney Company went about taking the era's most popular films and reinterpreting them as examples of a more mature House of Mouse. So Star Wars becomes the Black Hole, Superman becomes Condor Man, I'll get to that one soon. And take your pick supernatural horror film transforms into The Watcher in the Woods. And then there was Bill Cosby.
I want to be a bowl of Jell-O pudding. And I said, why? He said, because then all the kids will love me.
Not that one, this one.
But no funny stuff this time, okay?
Honey, if you can't tell which one is the needle by now.
By the early 80s, Cosby was a certified hit machine, and not just with one age demographic. He had everything from Saturday morning cartoons, a string of edgy comedy films, and of course, stacks and stacks of stand-up albums. And again, all of this was hugely successful. So if you're a fading film studio looking to reinvent your image by latching onto the biggest trends of the time, being in the Bill Cosby business makes a whole lot of sense. Not exactly sure why Cosby would want to be in the Disney business, especially in a film where he's, spoiler alert, playing the devil. I guess you could believe the little bit of information that exists on the internet that he was interested in the role because it normally would have been filled by a white actor. I mean, that could be true. Of course, it could also be. Brings us to 1981's The Devil and Max Devlin, a not very Disney movie about two not very likable characters in a not very funny comedy. But it's PG, and it's got Bill Cosby. So there's that.
Some call him Satan.
This is a mistake.
Some call him a demon.
That's just the way you like him.
Others call him Dr. Huxtable.
This is crazy.
But Devlin calls him the devil.
You want me to corrupt the souls of little kids?
Bill Cosby and Elliot Gould star in the hilarious comedy The Devil and Max Devlin.
Max Devlin is a shisty landlord for a very rundown and neglected apartment complex in Los Angeles. And while chasing down one of his tenants who is behind on rent, he trips over a blind woman, is run over by a bus, and is sent straight to hell. I'll give the movie a bit of credit here. They are not messing around with a drawn-out setup. Here's your main character, he kinda sucks, he's dead, welcome to hell. All in under 5 minutes. And hell is where we meet Bill Cosby. Cosby provides Max with a rundown of all the reasons that he's found himself in hell, and gives him the whole Faustian bargain shtick that's basically gonna fuel the remainder of the movie.
What we're looking for is fresh, unsullied innocence. Get them.
You want me to corrupt the souls of little kids?
So obviously Max takes the offer, is brought back to life for 2 months, and goes about finding 3 fresh, unsullied, innocent souls. Nothing creepy about that. But throughout this search, Bill Cosby continues to pop up in ways that are definitely cool and not suspect at all, just to remind Max that he'd better get him those kids.
I want signed contracts of the 3 kids.
What happens to the kids after they sign?
Nothing. We don't get them until the natural ends of their lives.
And he also teaches him things, like how to transport himself inside a women's bathroom. Wait, what is this movie about again?
Innocence. Get them.
Right. how is Max supposed to convince them to sign on the dotted line? Well, in addition to having the ability to transport himself wherever he wants, he's also able to help each target obtain their innermost desires, just so that Devil Bill Cosby can munch on some young souls.
You've got to want it so bad, I mean so bad that you'd sell your soul for it.
Well, I'm your man. I mean, you know, it's such a wild coincidence you're just coming along like that.
Hop in.
So the aspiring singer can all of a sudden sing, the wannabe dirt biker can all of a sudden dirt bike, and the little carnival kid plays all day at the carnival.
The next one's on me. Sure. I figured we'd spend some time together, get to know one another. I'll find out the kind of things you like, you'll find out the kind of things I like.
And then wants Max to be his dad.
Isn't there something you want that's so big and so terrific and so important that you'd practically sell your soul for?
Well, there is one thing.
What?
To have you for my father.
But in order to be his dad, he's gotta marry his mom.
He's in real estate, 38 years old, not married, and loves little kids.
Oh, I'll bet.
So this kicks off a whole romantic subplot that's just painful to watch play out. Anyway, as the movie goes along, Max is able to help each person on the list achieve their wildest dreams, like making appearances at the super glamorous Holiday Inn, until he's eventually finally able to trick them into signing away their souls. For Stella Summers, the now famous singer, Max dresses up as the worst undercover rabbi ever and gets her autograph. For Nerve Nordlinger, yeah, that's his name alright, the unpopular geek turned all-star biker, Max makes him think that he's signing a training contract. And for Toby Hart, the lonely little boy who just wants a dad so that he and his widowed mom can find happiness again, Max befriends his mom, helps out with her daycare business until she starts falling in love with him, insert painful romantic subplot, they get married, making Max Toby's dad, achieving his dream so that he happily signs on the dotted line. Now remember that deal where even though their souls belong to the devil, they could still live out the remainder of their lives?
I lied.
You know, I've always said that there's nothing better in a movie than to establish rules, only to later reveal that those rules never really mattered. So with the terms of the contract changed, Max decides to submit a few rewrites of his own.
Burn those contracts, and eternal damnation is yours!
Damn, someone needs to get this guy a drink.
Flesh you'll smell, burning your flesh, rotting forever!
You'll never get these kids! Never!
And just like that, everything's all good. Max visits everyone one final time and we realize that they don't even really need his Devil Cosby powers. And that kind of sums up the Devil and Max Devlin. The rules, the plot, the characters, none of that really matters because it's all just so predictable. Main character gives up soul to the devil so that they can only to have it backfire, but still turn out okay, and they possibly learn something about themselves along the way. Sound familiar? And yeah, I'm all about this movie hitting the ground running with Max ending up in hell within the first few minutes, but it doesn't give him much presence as a main character that we're all supposed to care about. Does it really matter if this scumbag landlord saves his soul? Meanwhile, Cosby is in prime Cosby form here, which surprisingly kind of works. After setting the stage, he doesn't do all that much beyond reminding everyone about the plot, but when he does show up, the movie gets a temporary boost of energy, so that's a good thing, I guess. So at the end here, all we're really left with is a pretty forgettable movie from Disney's experimental years, and Bill Cosby spending the rest of eternity sucking down fire and brimstone. What?